A&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Sports Minute. I am hosting tonight. Big B, Adam is off doing some family things. So tonight I'm joined by Crispy Bacon. How you doing, bud?
Doing good. How's everyone doing tonight?
I'm doing great. And then down below us for right now, we got Mr. James Gonzalez. How you doing?
I'm good. Day was full of mixed emotions, but yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I gotta say that too. And you guys all know that Wednesday's my card night. It was not a fairly decent night for me, but I did get quad fives tonight, so I should win high hand tonight. But we'll see. The card game was still going when I left. But anyways, so we hope to be joined by Dave Messaround and our buddy Isaiah. I have wild takes, Leon. So, but anyways, boys, let's start with the big news of the day. Arians going to step down. Actually, I think he's moving into the front office. The Buccaneers. So, James, I'll start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, he's transitioning to the as the senior football consultant of the Buccaneers. And honestly, you can kind of see this coming. Even with Brady coming back, I thought you probably have one more year at least. But with Brady not coming back at first, I thought he was going to retire then. But I was surprised he even stayed after that. But with Arians coming, or with Tom Brady coming back, Arians wanted to give Todd Bowles, who will take over as head coach, a good team, and we'll see if that's the case. I know they've lost some players, but they've got some players back. But it was funny that Tom Brady's unretirement played a role in Bruce's decision. But it's amazing to see someone in the game as long as Bruce Arians take that step to step down and step into a role as a consultant to give Todd Bowles, who really never had a chance at head coach. If you recall, he was with the Jets last decade, and he didn't really have a team really to coach. But it's a great job for Todd Bowles to step into that role. He's always been a defensive guy. I'm interested to see how the offense rolls without Bruce Arians. And, I want to tell everybody, hey, if you have time, find the Bruce Arians A Football Life, and you'll see how long of a life he had with football and how it's going to continue, but from the side. So, I'm happy for Bruce Arians, and I'm happy for his family, his wife, and I'm happy for Todd Bowles as well.
All right, Chris, how about you? The news breaking new coach in Tampa Bay.
All these stories been breaking this offseason. It's kind of crazy, but I can just add this one to the list, I guess. But it is surprising. I think nothing's really going to change with that offense or defense with Todd Bowles, running the team, because you still have that voice in Arians, even though he's going to be in the front office role, but you can still go to him for coaching advice and coaching knowledge. So I think even though he's in the front office, you still have like two head coaches in a way.
All right, and joining us from his sixth nap of the day, Dave Messaround. How you doing, bud?
Hey, I only took two naps today. Leave me alone. Two. That's all I had.
2 long naps. All right, Dave. So what do you think about the big news today of Arians stepping down?
I kind of thought it would happen after he won the Super Bowl when they beat Kansas City. I thought he'd kind of ride off into the sunset, and he kind of alluded to that in his little presser, saying that he thought about doing it. Then he's like, nah, let's run it back and go for 2. To me, it says a whole lot about what they didn't do as to what they did do. Because Byron Leftwich was a big name out there, and he had all these interviews, didn't get the job. In Tampa, even his own team passed him up and took Todd Bowles over him. So I was really surprised that Leftwich didn't get the nod.
David, you need to keep your camera and go turn it down, your voice, the laptop, somewhere.
Uh, so for me, I'm kind of with Dave. I'm kind of shocked that Leftwich did get the job there. I kind of think that something's going on. Arians probably didn't want Brady back after he said he was going to be retired. They wanted to go in a different direction. Of course, you're not going to turn down Brady when he decides to come back, but I think it kind of threw a wrench in their plans. Aries, still wanted to be a part of the team, so he moves up there, and we'll see what Tampa does now. See what they look like. See what kind of offense they're going to run. What kind of team they're going to get. So we'll see what happens there. So tonight's kind of open forum tonight, guys. So let's start a little baseball talk because I kind of want to leave the basketball talk for when Mr. Isaiah comes in so we can hear his wild take. So, James, you being the Anaheim fan, how's your team progressing here? What's it going to look like opening night?
And I'm going opening night, so I'm very happy to see Otani on the mound there and going to be with some good people. So looking at my roster, I see, with the Angels here, they went out and got Noah Syndergaard before the lockout, and then Michael Lorenzen as well. It's funny about Michael Lorenzen and somewhat of Noah Syndergaard. They're really good hitters as pitchers, but guess what? There's a universal DH now, so we'll never. Maybe they'll pinch hit one day. I don't know, but and then the Angels went out and recently addressed the bullpen, getting Archie Bradley. He's been bouncing around sometimes, but it was good getting him. So the bullpen re-signing with Raciel Iglesias, that was a big move again before the lockout. Getting Ryan Tepera. So you kind of have, Tepera, you got Bradley, you got Iglesias, 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning guys. And I'm really excited about that because the Angels haven't had anything like that in a while. And by the way, it's a 7-year drought of the playoffs, and I'm hoping it's not 8. I want to get in and I want to win. There's youth to this ball club as well. The outfield, if you don't count Justin Upton, if you don't count Trout, it's all young guys, and that's fine with me because there's speed, which hasn't been there in a while, and Joe Odell has all the power in the world. He's been hitting balls out into the parking lot at the Tempe Diablo Stadium. In the infield, I thought the Angels were going to get a shortstop, like Trevor Story or Carlos Correa, but the owner did not want to go over the tax threshold, basically. And we have now David Fletcher moving from short, our second base to short. And then we have a bunch of guys like Matt Duffy, Jack Mayfield, Luis Rengifo that will play second base. And then the last thing, the key to making the playoffs is Anthony Rendon. This guy's been hurt the last couple of years. If you recall, he won a championship in 2019 with the Nationals. Big part of that ball club. And I'm hoping that he stays healthy. He plays at least 130 games. We'll see, because he's bound to have something happen to him. But if he can, produce some runs and some RBIs and some home runs, timely base hits, this team has a chance to go to the playoffs for once. I'm really excited about that opportunity.
All right, Chris. Give us a little preview of your Texas Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, we signed Seager and a few others. I think they said today that John, I know his last name Gray. I think it's John Gray or Josh Gray. He's going to start, as our opening day pitcher. So that should be interesting. I was looking it up, and I don't think he faced Toronto ever in his career, or at least last year. For going up against them. So he played pretty much most of his career with Colorado. So I think it's going to be a good opening day and night and good season.
All right, mess around. Give us the lowdown and preview of my rival, the Chicago White Sox. Whisper, please.
Okay, I'll give you the rundown. I'm just kidding. My White Sox, I think, are going to be good this year. Their bullpen's pretty deep. You got Aaron Bummer, Garrett Crochet, Craig Kimbrell, Hendricks, and the rotation's looking pretty good so far this spring, too. Dylan Cease looked pretty good today against Texas. Michael Kopech, I haven't seen how he's done yet this spring, but he's moving into the rotation. And then Giolotto and Lance Lynn are good. Keuchel's looked decent this spring, so he's a question mark. Don't know what you're going to get from him. So if our starting pitching can – they're ranked like – they haven't ranked like the fourth best rotation in baseball, but I don't see it. And their bullpen's really deep. And their offense is good with Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert and Abreu. Tim Anderson hits for average. They also just got Josh Harrison from the A's for second base. He's supposed to be decent. So I think the White Sox should make a run this year if we can just get past Houston. Been our kryptonite the last couple of years. So if we can get past them, I can see us making the series.
All right. So, and then for me, Twins, I keep seeing reports that people are projecting these guys to win 80-plus games. I want to know what they're smoking and drinking because I don't see it or share it, so I can see it. I don't know. I mean, our team's going to be led by Buxton on the offense and defensive side as long as he stays healthy. I think they're going to offensively be okay with Correa and stuff. Pitching, on the other hand, I mean, unless this team, has got something that I'm not seeing, I don't know where they're getting 80 games from. I mean, Gray, Ober, Smeltzer, Bundy, and I think Archer might get into the fifth. If not, he might start in the AAA for a couple starts. The bullpen's rocky, closer is so. So, like I've said before, I give this team high hopes of finishing third right now, but anything's possible. So, opening day is a week away. Week and a day away. Next Thursday.
Thursday. This coming Thursday.
All right, so a week from tomorrow.
Either Thursday or Friday. I can't remember, but I know it's next week.
Yeah, I believe it's Thursday. So, looking here, little side note: Cap was named honorary captain for the Michigan football team. Do we care? No. I mean, he's trying to keep it
about that. It's no news.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they had to make it on ESPN. So, U.S. Men's soccer team, even though they lost, they made it into the World Cup.
No, I thought they won.
No, they lost 2-0.
2-0, yeah.
Yeah, they lost 2-0 to some Croatia team, I think. I don't know. But anyway, so congrats to them. Anybody watch World Cup soccer when it's on? I know I typically watch it in the Olympics. I mean, but, shout out to them. Good luck. I'm just looking at some sport highlights here or topics. Anybody got anything we can kind of open for them tonight? So,
yeah, how about the Cardinals scoring 29 runs against the Nationals the other day?
There we go.
I'm just looking at that right now. They had a 15-run eighth inning.
Yeah, tonight, yeah.
It's crazy. They had like 25 hits in the game or something.
Yeah, 26 hits on 29 runs, 4 in the first 2 innings, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, 15 in the eighth, and 1 in the ninth, just for good measure.
Yeah.
Washington, 2 errors.
That's the most runs they've scored since 1929 in the regular season or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Chrissy says hi. What's up? So, yeah, looking at that, let's talk about the Cardinals a little bit because they got a familiar face coming home.
Pujols.
Albert Pujols is going back home I'm pretty sure he's announced this is going to be his last year.
Yeah.
17 home runs. Exactly. Are you sure? I think he's 17 home runs away from 300 or 700, I believe it is.
That was 21.
21. You might be right. You could be right there, James. Does Pujols get it? Let's start with that. Chris, do you think Pujols gets 21 today?
Yeah.
Or this year?
I do.
You do, Dave?
What's the question?
Does Pujols get 21 home runs to give him 700 for his career?
I don't know. It depends on how much he's going to be used this year and if he can stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy and they use him more than I think they will, then yeah, he can definitely get there.
He's gonna be the primary DH if not every game. So
okay, yeah, if he can stay healthy, yeah, I can see him getting there.
All right, James, how about you?
He had 13 home runs last year with the Dodgers / Angels.
17 total last year.
17 total.
Yeah, 13 with the Dodgers. So
you have to believe he's going to be the everyday DH, like you mentioned. I think he'll get it.
James froze, or did I freeze?
No, I can hear you.
No,
All right.
James Rose.
All right, James froze. So internet did not like James' comments. All right. For me, until James comes back.
There he is.
If he doesn't get 21, then I think he comes back for one more year. But I think he's going to get it. I mean,
yeah,
you're probably going to play 150 games as the DH, sit out a little bit. So,
it'd be funny like Mr. 3000 where he has to hit,
yeah,
and he has to get one home run in 20.
Yeah, James Internet ain't sure liking him tonight. So
no, what's up, Isaiah?
Isaiah, get on soon because we got some stuff to talk to you about. So, I think he's gonna get it. The countdown will probably start. Probably about All-Star break because I don't think he's going to hit 21 in the first half of the season. So, I think you're looking probably around end of August, September is when he's going to be close. I think. So,
yeah, and if not, he'll probably be back for a couple months next year just to cap it off.
Oh, that's going to be something.
Just for a few months next year.
Just for a few months. Hits the 700, then call it a career in the middle of the game.
I got my numbers. I'm
step on home plate and be like, I'm done. So,
grab the microphone.
Hopefully James will be back with us shortly. So.
Oh, there he is. This is like Houdini.
I don't know what's going on. The internet just went out for some reason. We had some bad weather lately in California somehow.
I thought maybe you made a comment the internet's going to slap you like Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. So, so anyways, guys, I wasn't prepared to be the host. So what else do we got? I mean, Chris, we talked about Cardinals, Pujols.
I got something. With Malcolm Jenkins retiring today, he's still the only player to defeat both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl in NFL history. If you recall, he was with the Saints when they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. I still remember that onside kick. I think it was half. And I remember yelling my, what off, like, hell yeah, because I for some reason, I really want the Saints coming back from Katrina to win, and Jenkins was a definite part of that, as well as Tracy Porter on the other side of the ball there. But I just remember screaming like, hell yeah, they got it, they're gonna win. And then when Jenkins and the Eagles with the Philly special beating Brady in that Super Bowl, Jenkins definitely been a part of some history, but I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, and I don't think he's a first ballot for sure. Do you guys think he gets in as a Hall of Famer?
Let's see here.
I mean, just by some of the criteria. I mean, we all know what we think of the criteria, but just by the Hall of Fame's view on it, I think so.
And it seems like in the NFL and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you get in easier. Like in the Basketball Hall of Fame, it seems like it might take a little bit if you're someone like Adrian Dantley or Alex English, where you just score, but you were never part of like a championship team. But in this case, Malcolm Jenkins, he's definitely been a part of something special everywhere he's been.
Yeah, that's what I mean by criteria. It seems like
it's a close call. Honestly,
you said he's got 2 rings.
Yeah,
one with the Saints and one with the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's tough because the 2 rings is probably getting him in the conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
his stats. So I don't know. I mean, looking at it, his career he played 199 games, started 191. He's had 21 interceptions, 7 touchdowns. Uh, I'm just trying to look here. He's had 20 forced fumbles. It looks like he's recovered 11 of those. He's gotten a touchdown out the forced fumble. Tackles. He's accounted for what? Just over 1,000 combined tackles, 800 solo. He's gotten, I think it was 18 and a half sacks. I think. I just had it here. 13 and a half sacks. If he gets in, it's going to be late. It's not going to be probably 5. It's probably going to be 5 years out.
Because in his time, you can name probably 3 or 4 better safeties than him, like Palomalu. I'm trying to think of others, but you can act. You can't really say that he was one of the best or the best at that time. You just have to go down.
I think he'll get in the second year. I think he'll get in the second year of eligibility.
Wow.
Really? Second? Okay. Like I said, I mean, he's in the conversation because he's won 2 Super Bowls. And like James said, he's beaten Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So,
but you got 5 years to think about it. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Money talks. He might come back. I mean,
I think he's borderline. He's borderline to get in the Hall. I think it's going to depend on the voters, really. I mean, it does anyways with any guy. But him more so. His numbers were impressive, like 21 picks, 8 touchdowns, 1,000 tackles. Yep. The 13 and a half sacks, he pretty much did it also.
Yeah.
I think he gets in, but it's not going to be the first or second. I think it's going to be down the road.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, guys. There's a topic that came up the other day on one of the other shows I do, and it's really bugging me. But with Deshaun Watson signing with the Browns, but he could get suspended the first 4 or 8 games, in my opinion, just because of the 22 civil lawsuits that are going to go on. And you know how Roger Goodell would he would suspend someone if they had off-season trouble just for a couple of games, or Ray Rice, remember that debacle? But I'm wondering where everybody thinks Baker Mayfield is going to go, or if he's going to stay and back up with the Browns and start those games, or does he want out? We know he wants out, but if he does, where do you think he'll go?
The problem with Baker is that nobody wants him at this point, and everybody knows that the Browns, they can't trade him. Eventually, they're going to end up releasing him anyway. So why waste draft capital to get somebody that's just going to be cut? Wow. And I think the Browns are going to hold on to him because they know that Watson might be suspended, and they have to have someone in place for those possible 4 to 8 games, whatever it may be.
This is going to be like I'm sorry. This is going to be like
it'd be the smart thing to do to hold on to him to let him start those games.
It's going to be like a Ben Simmons thing where he's just there on the sideline, but he doesn't really want to be there, and we saw that debacle happen. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be like.
Well, the thing with, because who's the other team I'm thinking of? San Fran is kind of in the same situation. They got a quarterback that, their backup is ready to go, Lance, and then in the Browns you got Watson. So neither team has leverage to be like, well, I want this for our quarterback. So everybody's kind of just waiting to see what they do. I mean, because I wouldn't make a move, even though, I might have an opening, but it's like, okay, well, if you're going to cut him, I'll get him on the cheap end. Browns would be smart to keep Baker once they find out what the status of Watson is going to be, 6 to 8 games. But we all know Baker wants out. So, is Baker going to play? I hate to say his ego's going to say no, and he's going to sit there and cry about it. But, what's the going rate for a quarterback that sits there and whines?
Didn't he have a shoulder injury he was playing with the whole
season? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So
Ay,
It should
ay.
be real from that. I mean,
Who here thinks he's going to the Seahawks?
I think
The
that's
smart
where he
thing-
would end up. I mean,
The smart thing for Baker to do is go out and play lights out and rise his stock, and eventually someone will be like, "Oh, he's Baker old. He's gotten better. We can trade for him now."
that
Instead of whining and complaining about his situation, make the best out of it.
I mean, the best for the Browns would for that to be. I mean, for him to come out and ball out, and then at week 6 or whatever the trade deadline is, okay, we could probably get a first and second or a second and third for him.
I was gonna say you probably need a second tier, a fifth, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, Baker wants out. He'd rather get cut, but if he's going to stick around, and like I said, with Dave,
What does
Ball
Cleveland
out.
do if he comes out and he's playing like MVP level? He's just putting up phenomenal numbers. What do? They bench him in favor of Watson,
There you
or
go.
do you stay with Baker?
Well, the thing is Watson's
Depending on
only
your standings.
going to cost $1 million towards the cap. So $1 million for a backup quarterback if your starter's balling out. I mean, yeah. Let's say the Browns are 5-1, 7-1. When Watson comes back, I mean, how can you bench Mayfield? I mean,
I like what Chrissy Wilson said right there.
what's that?
Mayfield is a bum. That's why a team like Seattle won't take him. But Seattle right now, according
Seattle
to
would take him
me,
over Luck.
they have a bum right there with Drew Lock, and I think they have
Right.
Geno Smith too. So it's kind of like, well, we just have like
I
the
don't
humble
know.
from Captain at quarterback right now.
I tell you right now, I take Mayfield over Locke any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Locke could surprise people.
And the
I
right
mean,
side,
he does got 2 decent weapons in
Yeah,
Seattle.
for now.
So, yeah.
He had
And
a Denver too.
Sometimes the scheme works better on different quarterbacks. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily where you're at.
Chris is right on that. I'll give him that. I mean,
And
know,
if he succeeds here, it's in Denver's system that's not.
if he succeeds in Denver or in Seattle, and Russell Wilson fails in Denver, watch out for next year's topics. I mean, what was Seattle thinking? What was Denver thinking? I mean,
Does Denver need to change their system?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
that would be weird.
That would.
Chrissy Wilson saying Locke could surprise people, but she doesn't think he will.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
I'm on the bandwagon with you guys. I don't think so, but like Chris said, the system could be different. I mean, look at Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he went to the Saints, was 8-0 and backup, but then he goes everywhere else, and he's a borderline starter backup. I think he's in Miami now, so the system does make a difference. The players make a difference.
I've always thought Bridgewater was just a backup to begin with. Even after his impressive start with the Saints, I never thought he was a starting caliber quarterback.
No, and I mean, after his injury, I mean, he got a raw deal here in Minnesota. I think he was bound to be, the guy, but I think the general manager and the coach wanted to go different routes. And the coach wanted Bridgewater, and the general manager didn't. So, but we'll see where that goes. But right now, everybody's looking like Bridgewater was the backup, is always going to be the backup. So,
Hey, I got something.
go ahead, Chris.
We saw a tiger sighting in Augusta.
A tiger sighting, huh?
Yep.
We'll see. I mean, he's coming back. He's
Report
another
is he's
guy.
playing.
To me, he's the one that got me into golf because I never touched the club until I started watching him play. Not saying I could play like Tiger, but
when Tiger was his peak, he was amazing.
Oh God, he was definitely. But,
Is he two titles away from Jack Nicklaus? Is that right?
He is.
I forgot.
Maybe. But I don't think
two or three.
Let's
I don't
see.
think he'll get
I know it's close.
Man, just the way his career has gone, just like this, and
Ever
then
since the
came
sex
back a
thing.
little, and then came back, and then you're just like a roller coaster and keeps going downhill after a while.
He's a guy. I mean, now that this car accident really kind of messed with him, but after his little scandal and stuff, I was saying, Tiger, you need just to kind of step away for a while and then come back out. And I mean, he kind of did that, but he was still playing at the
He's coming
minor
back too
tournaments.
soon
But
from everything.
Nah, I don't know about that, Christy. That would be something
That
for you to
that
love,
was,
though.
I mean, that is, and
Yeah.
I actually kind of prematurely texted that out because I got on my phone and saw
You got
that
trolled.
I did, and I'm like, and I actually put it out there. It's like, hey, did this really happen? Diggs to the Cowboys, yes, it has been big talks. His brother's been out there, kind of getting on. Buffalo,
Every
I think, honestly, would be stupid.
ever since the
Mhm.
Pro Bowl,
Yeah.
this has been going
God,
on.
everybody just needs to stay where they are after this offseason for like 2 or 3 years.
Tiger's
Hey.
3 titles away from Jack Nicklaus.
Ooh,
I
I
thought
don't
it was
think he's
2 or
gonna get
3.
there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yeah.
we're kind of in between two topics now, Tiger Woods and Diggs. So
Tiger Woods play football. I'm just kidding.
yeah, so let's finish out with Tiger Woods. I kind of hope he finishes off on a high note. I mean, a couple more years, I think he'll be in the senior tour, and then right behind him, his boy's coming up. I think his boy's 13 or something. I mean, he's
I
got
know
a better swing than I think I ever could. He probably beat me golfing left-handed.
I think he's been practicing with him.
Well, what else
Yeah.
would you do? I mean, that's
Yeah.
like Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad be like, "What do you want to do today, son? Oh, let's go play baseball." Okay, I mean, you got the best coach there to learn how to play golf. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can argue that. I mean, outside maybe Jack Nicholson, but so. All right, so let's talk about the rumor that Chrissy brought up. I've been seeing it a lot. I know we don't really like to talk too much about rumors, but the Bills have come out and really haven't said anything. Diggs' brother, who does play for Dallas, is trying to I mean, hey, you want to play with your brother? I mean, who wouldn't want to play with their brother? In the biggest stage of your career or biggest league. I mean, so Chris, you're the Dallas fan. How
Yeah.
excited would you be if Diggs got traded to Dallas?
I mean, I'll be okay with it. I mean,
And you
we've
give
kind of
Danucci some weapons. I mean, Dak
yeah.
some weapons.
No,
Music.
we saw a little bit, in the Pro Bowl when they both squared off offense and defense, and then they kind of swapped. But I wouldn't mind seeing it happen.
Because there's three Diggses in the league, right? They're all
No,
brothers.
two.
There's two.
Two.
Okay, I thought there was a third one. I thought that.
I mean, there's one that's similar name, but no relation. If I do remember.
It's funny. I saw with the tweet came out on SportsCenter of Trayvon Diggs saying, "I've always wanted to play on the same team as my brother." 14 to Dallas, number 14 would be fire. And then Josh Allen replied simply, "No." And I was trying to find any restatement from the Bills, but obviously the quarterback said no. And then they also got plans for a new stadium now.
Yeah.
I think it was approved, and the funny thing is it's not retractable roof. It's nothing like that. So I'm shocked to see the Bills, just like Big B's Vikings, they have a retractable roof on their place.
We do too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Cowboys. But in those, cold, frigid climates, it's, odd to see.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago and Green Bay doesn't have. Detroit's been in the dome the whole time, other from the beginning at Tiger Stadium. So it's kind of weird. Kind of weird to see Buffalo, but I think Buffalo embraces the cold atmosphere. They wear no shirts. They do the tailgating thing where they jump and break
off
tables and wear crazy stuff and all that. Mess around day. I was wondering, do you take any of this lightly, or do you about Diggs wanting to wanting his older brother to come play with the Cowboys, or do you think it's just a rumor and you
It's
think
a
nothing
rumor.
of it?
Buffalo's not going to let him go. He's their big play guy. He's their number one receiver. And I know they had that one guy. I can't remember his name. Gabriel, I think it was. That stepped up in playoffs. Had that 5 touchdown game against Kansas City or whatever. But Diggs is still their number one guy, and you're not going to. I mean, yeah, sure, this draft's loaded with receivers, but you're going to take an unproven guy over Diggs? I don't know.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Brothers want to play with each other, but J.J. Watt had that chance last year, and he chose not to play with his brother. So, it could just be the one brother wanting to play with the other, but the other brother wanting to stay where he's at. So,
And
Well, I mean,
JJ
you
could
had-
still do that.
Well, I mean, you had. I'm trying to think of everybody. Tiki Barber,
Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber. You had
Those are cool
Brandon
guys.
Marshall. Maybe I got him wrong. I don't know. You had a bunch of other tandems, but
you got the Buzzes who are on the Chargers and Niners, respectively.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're both locked up forever. I don't see them ever playing together because they're such big pieces of defense. So,
Okay, Chris, hypothetically, what as a Cowboy fan here, hypothetically, what would you give up to get Stephon Diggs? How much would you give up? Players, draft picks, arms, legs, nose, tongue. What would you give up for Stephon Diggs?
Oh, man. I know he's good, but
How many picks you giving up?
Maybe a second and 2 players.
Ooh. See, if I'm Buffalo and there's no way that Stephon wants to stay, I'm going all in. I'm saying, hey, it's going to take how many first round picks? Like 8, 5 or 6. It's going to take, as many draft picks as I can get, as many first rounders too. It's going to take Gallup. It's going to take no way. I don't think they'll part ways with CD Lamb, but I'm not sure if they would. Big B is back here.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, guys.
If I'm Buffalo, I'd say give me a first round and give me Zeke because they need running back.
Ooh.
There you go. We're still talking about the Diggs possible trade to Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, we were giving out rumors or possibilities.
Hypothetical trades.
Give me a second and Zeke, and we'll call it a deal.
Yeah, that's
second
what I
and
wanted.
Zeke?
Second and a player.
I want more.
Chris, would you take that? A second and Zeke for Diggs?
Well, I didn't. I said a second and a player, but I didn't really specify a player. But you could do Zeke.
Yeah, if I'm Buffalo, I'm definitely going after Zeke. I mean, you got to give me a running back, but again, now you giving up, one of the best, 15 receivers. I mean, how good is Zeke going to do when they know they're going to run? I mean,
yeah.
So, Chrissy said second and Zeke, she wouldn't do it.
Really?
Chrissy, what would you do? You're another Dallas fan. What would you do? I mean, that's a lot.
I like Zeke, but
I like Zeke too, but
he's
he's got a lot of cap space. But you got Lamb, you got Pollard. I mean, back there too. That's what's killing.
I want to see more Pollard.
Yeah, I do too.
Anything.
He killed.
You got to see more Pollard. You got to get rid of Zeke.
That's true.
I mean,
I don't think nobody will touch Zeke. Yeah,
I don't think they touch him unless they can restructure that contract.
Yeah, I can't.
Right, I think next year they have a chance to release.
Chris, send Chrissy the link, and she says she'll come on and explain what she would do. So while we're waiting for Chrissy Wilson,
give me a second. Give me the Ewok.
You got to throw Danucci in there too. I mean, I need a good backup quarterback.
Guys, I really see this, and I see this really in football where players, once they get their big contract, they don't go as hard anymore. And I see that with Ezekiel Elliott.
But Zeke's also been dealing with injuries too. So can we blame the big contract on him? I mean, we see that in a lot of the sports. So
he's got a lot of wear and tear on those legs too. I mean, he got the ball like 200-300 times a season when he first came up.
Yep.
like his first 4 or 5 seasons.
But that's the thing with Dallas is that they run their running backs forever.
They do.
I mean,
look
Emmitt
at
Smith,
Barber,
I mean-
Julius Jones, Emmitt Smith.
Julius
Exactly.
Jones. Oh my god.
I forgot about him. I was trying to remember who was after Emmett. So there's Miss Chrissy coming on.
Right here.
All right, Chrissy. So you're along with a fellow Dallas Cowboy fan. So you said no to second and Zeke, huh, for Diggs.
Okay.
What would you do?
I would do a second, but I would not throw Zeke in there. I wouldn't throw Tony Pollard in there either.
Okay.
I would probably go
Lamb.
Oh Lord. What?
CD Lamb.
Lamb? No, I wouldn't do CD Lamb.
Oh, you're playing
I
hard.
like CD Lamb. He's really impressed me. I wouldn't give him up. But
Are you sure you're not related to Jerry Jones? I mean, the way you play
I'm
hardball?
Lord.
No. Dear God, no. Why would I be related to that guy? Holy crap. No chance.
You got
all right.
Oilfield somewhere.
Okay. I would do a second round pick. I would do that.
Okay.
But in terms of a player, no, I'm not going to throw him Ben DiNucci, okay? No, I wouldn't do that.
Van and
You might need him. You never know. Okay, time to get serious here.
Yeah.
Okay, it
Tyron
would probably
Smith.
be possibly a defensive player. I would probably
Dig-
do
Oh,
dig-
Michael Parsons.
Huh?
Diggs
Andrew?
for Diggs?
No. They want
I
to play
want
together. I
Parsons.
wouldn't do that.
That would be something that
I mean,
Well,
this is
Dallas
just going to be a
acquired
complete
Diggs
shot in the
to get
dark.
rid of
I know he
Diggs.
hasn't been doing so hot lately. I'd throw in DeMarcus Lawrence.
I want Michael Parsons. I know that.
No.
Like, hey,
they would not give up any of their stud
No,
defense.
you're
I
taking
think-
something
I
valuable
just said it
from
was a
me.
random shot in the dark there with D-Law. Other than
Cowboy,
that, I wouldn't give him up. But hypothetically, I'd put him in there.
Cowboys will sign Khalil Mack and use him as trade bait.
Shit.
God, Chris, you got all the answers. You got all
Yeah.
the answers.
All the answers.
So
Jeez, I thought I'd try.
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, Dave, I think it's got the best one. I think you unload the cap with Zeke and
Yeah, that might be it.
No.
Unless, you'd have to pretty much would have to restructure that contract because I think when Zeke signed that big contract, in all honesty, I think he kind of cash strapped the Cowboys with that contract. I mean,
Yeah.
with Dak and Zach Martin, they were willing to restructure their contracts to create the salary cap space that we needed so we could re-sign Michael Gallup to a new contract, even though he's going to miss maybe 2, maybe 3 games because of the knee injury he suffered in the playoffs. So, okay, who's dinging? Who's binging?
That's my phone.
Okay, I was just curious. I was like, where's that noise coming from?
his wife's telling him to be quiet. He talks. To me.
Shut up.
I need Parsons and I need Pitt.
Sorry.
All
So,
right,
Chrissy,
but
since you're on the open forum here, you're a Boston Red Sox fan. So, what's your outlook for opening day for the Red Sox?
hopefully good despite Chris Sale going on the deal with the stress fracture injury.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Did not know
I
that.
don't have a lot of faith in him staying healthy, so he's always getting banged up for some reason or another. But I'm just hoping with Trevor Story being the new guy on the Red Sox, he's able to provide a punch. And I just hope that we just do good things this season because we were close to going to the World Series.
Yeah, slap
We were
around the
close,
Yankees a
but we
little
didn't
bit,
get it.
like
What?
slap around the Yankees a little bit, like
Oh,
Wilson
yeah.
slapped Chris Rock. Yeah.
Slap the Yankees around, definitely.
I mean that lineup they have in Boston is amazing when you think
Yeah.
about it. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
add Trevor Story in there. You get Jackie
Mhm.
Bradley Jr. back, which he
Yep.
knows the outfield
Absolutely.
very well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Xander
So-
Bogaerts.
You
I mean,
still have JD
Story has
Martinez.
to go play second base, but I think that I don't have an issue with that at all.
There's an interesting. It's an interesting rotation in bullpen. You got
is.
left-hander Rich Hill. He's on the older side, but you have Paxton that's been bouncing around. Digman, Michael Waka. Nathan Eovaldi, I'm happy for him to come back.
He sounded like an Ewok.
It sounds like he's a Muppet from Fraggle Rock or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was trying to do Fonzie from the Muppets.
That's
Yeah,
what it
that's
was.
it.
Yeah, it's Fonzie.
You still have Matt Barnes there, so that's
Mhm.
an interesting
Still got
mix of pitchers there.
Yep, definitely a
Um,
mix of veterans and new guys.
Yeah, so I like that. But at third base, you still have Rafael Devers.
Yep.
You could upgrade a little at catcher, but you do have Vasquez back. Enrique or Kike Hernandez
Yep.
is still very clutch.
Yep, he
So
is.
I still like
They're
this
pretty good.
team over the Yankees. I really
Oh,
still
yeah.
do.
Definitely. I mean, we're still really good, and we can definitely smack the Yankees around, and we'll see what happens.
I would love that. The thing is, in
Me
that,
too.
in that division, I'm still looking at the Rays or the Blue
Mhm.
Jays to win it.
Ooh.
It's weird, but
That's tough.
throw
Yeah,
Boston
the Orioles
in there.
don't count; they're out of it.
Right.
We don't count those guys.
As Isaiah would say, watch Boston or Baltimore just take it now. They're going to win 130 some games.
Oh, dear God.
That
So-
sounds as bad as an
If
Isaiah
that
take.
happens, I'm
It
marked for it.
would. It would.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if Isaiah says it, I'm like, nope.
If they win
All right,
75
guys.
games, I won't watch sports ever again.
Don't forget,
No,
according to
no,
Isaiah,
no.
the A's are making the playoffs this year.
Oh, considering the A's are pretty much just completely cleaning house right now, I don't know.
Well, it's a,
Oh,
it's a
just so you
moving
know,
Bring
the
cell.
some of
Suns
the best
won.
players to Atlanta.
Suns
It's a moving
won
cell.
over Golden State tonight. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So why don't we get into the NBA talk here? We'll just cover the playing games right now, or the playing tournament.
Okay.
So far in the Eastern Conference, you got Cleveland will versus the Nets. Charlotte
Mhm.
will versus Atlanta. And then in the West, you got Minnesota versus the Clippers, and the Pelicans versus the Lakers as of right now.
Mm.
So up in the
Come
East,
on, Pelicans.
exactly.
Spurs.
Well, San Antonio's only half a game back, so I would definitely, think the Lakers are sweating a little bit. So let's start back in the East. So you got Cleveland and Brooklyn, and you got Charlotte versus Atlanta. So who do we think's gonna get in the playing games on that side? Now remember, the loser of the 7-8 will play the winner of the 9-10.
Ooh.
So Chris, we'll start with you. What do you think could happen in that?
I'm going Brooklyn and Atlanta. Brooklyn and Atlanta.
Brooklyn, Atlanta's in. Okay.
Yeah.
Messing around?
Brooklyn and Atlanta for sure. How can you not have Brooklyn in there?
Okay. Chrissy, how about you?
Go Brooklyn and Atlanta.
Brooklyn, Atlanta. Okay. James, you gonna make it a coin sweep before we talk, or what?
Brooklyn, Charlotte.
What? Whoa.
All right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Unless Trey Young scores 65.
So our
Which I'm sure he's.
our viewer and fellow host of Morning Tailgate, Tim Hendricks, is saying Cavs and Hawks.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
That would be shocking.
That's
If
not
the
bad.
league allows the Nets not to get in, that would be shocking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with James. I'm gonna say Brooklyn and Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So me and
Wow,
James are gonna have.
I didn't realize the Nets have fallen off that bad.
Yeah. Well, they've almost fallen as far as your Bulls. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, we're still 5. Leave us alone. We're good.
You're still 5.
Clippers play the Bulls tomorrow. I can't wait to
Show
see
us saying
that.
what's up, y'all. So
Hey.
all right. So in the West, we got Minnesota and the Clippers and the Pelicans and the Lakers as of right now. So Chrissy, I'll start with you. Who do you see making in there?
Well, I'm thinking the Lakers because I'm not picking the Pelicans.
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to say like Ron.
And
And
who's
the other game again?
Minnesota and the Clippers.
I'm gonna go with Clippers.
Oh, you
And
would.
not just because
Damn Boston fans, I tell you. Can't give Minnesota credit. James, I guess I know where you're going in the first matchup. What's in your second?
Yeah.
What's in your second matchup?
if LeBron takes the rest of the year off, as Chris mentioned, and AD isn't back, you have to go to the Pelicans. I mean, that'd be amazing if the Lakers didn't make it.
Yeah.
So I'll have New Orleans. I think they've earned it, honestly.
Yeah.
I know they're 30 games out of first place, but
Just 30.
in the conference. But and still, to me, I'm thinking, why is there a playing tournament?
Yeah.
I'm just it
hurts my
doesn't
brain.
matter. Yeah.
Wasn't it last year that LeBron said the playing thing was dumb? I bet you now he's like rooting for it. He's like he's glad there's a play-in.
He had to get in last year via the play-in
game. Yeah.
after he said it was a mistake to even have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's got to do it again potentially.
So, Messer, what do you think?
I want to go with the Timberwolves making it and the San Antonio Spurs making it.
Okay. Chris, how about you?
Let's go Pelicans. Clippers.
Oh, of course, another Dallas fan that doesn't give any credit. I was gonna go with Dave's picks. I was gonna go Minnesota. I think the Spurs are gonna get in. I think they're gonna sneak in. But if the Spurs don't, then I really hope the Pelicans do because I can't stand LeBron. So
yeah,
I mean,
I'm wrong on the Lakers pick though.
Yeah.
Hope
So I want to talk. We got a few minutes here. Let's get away from the sports a little bit. We're not going to talk and slap around the world.
Oh.
Yeah, we all think that's. I mean, who knows? But I actually want to talk about Bruce Willis walking away.
Oh yeah,
I heard about that.
Yeah, me too.
Walk away from what? He hasn't been in the movie in forever.
Well, he was diagnosed with something, and he has to stop acting.
Aphasia or something like that.
Yeah, his brain can't formulate words, and it could be triggered from I think it's traumatic traumatic head trauma or something like that.
It could be caused by a stroke,
a
tumor, head injury.
Yep. I'm thinking about all those Die Hard films he did where I think he did a lot of his own stunt work. Maybe, possibly. I mean, who knows how it all started for him. I just feel terrible.
What's wild about it is ex-wife Demi Moore shared the news via Instagram, and I was wondering if those two were ever chatted or talked ever since they've broken up. I mean,
they've been friends pretty much. They've remained friends since they got divorced.
Yeah.
They've remained really good friends. She's even friends with his current wife.
Oh wow! Okay.
So they've so pretty much they've been there for each other. They've been great friends, and they've just always had each other's backs.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's just
that doesn't really happen in Hollywood.
They're one of the few Hollywood couples that even after they break up, they've remained very close.
Wow.
Can you hear us, Big B?
Nope.
The condition is a constellation of symptoms that make it difficult or impossible to express or comprehend language. This kind of reminds me of my job and where I work with. I don't work with the people directly, but dementia. It kind of reminds me of that. But this is happening to him. I think he's been through so many action movies and stunts, loud noises, and just having to yell, having to do everything stressful all the damn time. I think that probably caught up to him, and
it could have,
just brain damage, and that could result in a stroke. So it's good to take care of that right now. I think for Bruce Willis. I can't really think of many other movies other from Die Hard that's my favorite of his, but I think I wonder what everybody else's favorite movie of his is.
Well, I mean, I like Die Hard. My husband really enjoyed The Fifth Element.
That's Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's my favorite.
That was a good one. I mean, even I admit I liked it.
Yeah,
for me, there was What was it? The whole 10 yards?
The whole 9
yards?
yards.
Yeah, and then there was a spinoff. That was pretty good. I mean, he's made cameos in Friends, which I actually thought was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get away from the Die Hard movies. I mean,
They made him a star.
oh yeah, best
I forget
Christmas
he was
movie
in
ever.
Armageddon.
Yeah, he was in Armageddon.
I love that movie too.
Yep, that was
good.
good. That was a pretty good movie. I know we're missing one. I'm trying to think here.
Sixth Sense.
Oh,
Sixth
yeah,
Sense,
yeah, that one.
I
That was
haven't seen that one.
Fifth Element.
I mentioned The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Expendables. Red. Looper.
I see dead people.
Good. I remember that one.
Yeah, those weren't bad.
That was out of his realm, kind of, but it was funny seeing him kind of be, playful in a way with that movie, The Kid by Disney.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that one, honestly, because you just think of him, of course, as just a wild, crazy, action star, and Sin City. I kind of remember that one.
Yeah, he was good in that one too.
Now I do remember him in Cop Out with Tracy Morgan, and he hated working with Tracy Morgan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I always remember that one. I never seen that movie, and I don't really want to because it seems like a forced production with those two. Just the difference of those two guys, comedy and action coming together, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I remember him for that, definitely. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's good to get this, why he's as young as he is.
Yeah.
But you're just hoping for the best for him. You're hoping for the rest of his life he's able to remember what he can, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was reading up on what it was, and it's a language disorder, or speaking. So yeah, definitely. I mean, you're an actor. You can't talk. You really can't act. I mean, but I really hope he does get better. I mean, he was a pretty good actor. I was a semi-fan. I mean, he wasn't one of my favorite, but, the action flicks that he was in, I mean, he was really good at.
Yep.
So, hoping for the best for him and his family, especially for him. So with that being said, guys, we got a few minutes left here, so we'll go around. Chris, what's got going on C2C this week?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Kicking it with Isaiah and Aces tomorrow night. And,
that'll be fun.
Saturday's the big event in wrestling, WrestleMania. We're going to do a kind of a watch event both nights. And then Sunday, we're also going to have a scrimmage of the Oregon Cougars women's football team. Sunday morning. Sunday morning. And then we're going to also be doing a March Madness championship preview with the Bone Joe Show.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So,
pretty cool.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
All right. Mess around. What about you? What you got going on?
I got thanks for having me on. It's good to be on here. I'm glad I finally got a day shift job so I can do more shows. So looking forward to that. If I can, wake up on time between my naps.
But no more lunchtime with Dave?
Probably not, because I get off at noon. So I'm going to do a new show called Nightcap with Dave. I'm going to start that probably next Monday. Or Nightcap with Mess Around.
All right. All right, James, what you got going on?
I think this week or next week I'm going to be a part of 4 different networks doing shows. And that's just an extravaganza, a headache in my mind. I really can't wait for the baseball season to come up. We got the Final Four coming up, and Saturday and Sunday I'm working in the morning. I'm hoping to get off in time for the first game and, of course, enjoy the second. And then Monday you got the championship, and I can't wait for the one shining moment sequence they have or segment at the end of the coverage. I always look forward to that. That always pumps me up. It always gets me ready to go, and I can't wait for the Final Four for sure.
All right, Chrissy, how about you?
Well, just they're definitely looking forward to kicking it with Isaiah and Ace. That is always a ton of fun to be a part of, and hopefully, probably be a part of Between the Ropes on Sunday after night 2 of WrestleMania, because that's always fun to do as well.
Yeah. So check us all out all week. Like Chris said, special programming Saturday Between the Ropes. We'll have a viewing party on Saturday and Sunday for WrestleMania. I will most likely be part of the Sunday broadcast, and can't wait for WrestleMania. I mean, it's one of my favorite times of the year. I mean, even though I don't think the matches are going to be that great, but you watch one, you want to watch them all. So, with that being said, Chrissy, thanks for hopping on. Dave, thanks for hopping on, and for Crispy Bacon, James, and myself, this was SportsMinute. Check us out next week on Wednesday. Have a good one.